First question, this one comes to us from Donna, right here in St. Albans. It's often said that one of America's strengths is that we run 50 laboratories of democracy. So Donna asks, what are some economic policies you see in other states that should be applied on a larger scale? Or what are some mistakes that other states have made that we all need to avoid? Joe, we'll start with you.
Let me go first, sure. So it's competition, Paul, and I've actually participated when I was in the Army. I lived in Georgia locally and at the state level a little bit, trying to work with government officials, trying to entice a very large corporation to relocate outside Savannah. That didn't happen. It's about incentives, and it's about taxes, and it's about housing, which we might talk about, but you have to offer a good deal. That's going to depend mostly on the state to work that up. I don't think it's been happening. I would say right now with our economy, the 9% inflation, and there's a lot of things. The economy's in bad shape because we're in a recession, but the state has to decide to be competitive, to offer incentives to companies to relocate to the state. I want to work with companies. I've worked with many household name companies for many years now, and that's one of the things I'm going to try to do is entice them and sell Vermont. If it's I work in an industry where there's a premium that people will pay for value, so maybe that's 10%. But if the tax structure and the incentives, if there's a difference, because the companies will do the analysis, if it's going to cost them 25% more to go to Vermont versus South Carolina, they're not coming to Vermont. So the state has to decide to be competitive.
And Myers, same question to you. 50 laboratories of democracy. What are some policies you see in other states that could work either here in Vermont or on a larger scale nationally, or what are some mistakes we should avoid?
Well, I think obviously business competitiveness is something that we need to pursue. I mean, we need to avoid higher taxes, more regulation. We need to avoid policies that are anti-growth, disguised as climate policies. And we also need to make sure that we don't restrict our liberty or restrict our constitutional rights. To get back to the issues that I was talking about before about assisting in the relocation of over 900 companies and working with all the companies that were dislocated by 9/11 and assisting the New York State government and the White House in doing that. That certainly was an eye-opener in a disaster situation where those companies needed to find immediate housing. I also have spent over a decade in working with churches and houses of worship over the past 10 years, as I said, across New England in helping these houses of worship monetize excess real estate and really producing about $200 million for affordable housing. The issue of higher paying jobs is a critical one in Vermont. As I've said, I have relocated over 300,000 jobs, so I understand the relocation process. Some of the larger transactions that took place that I worked on were the large retention deals that the states competed on for the financial services firms like Morgan Stanley and General Electric and NBC. So I understand the dynamics of those. It's economic at some level, but there are other additional items that need to be considered, and I think I would try to bring Vermont's strengths to the fore. There's only so much we can do in the state, right? But as a federal representative, I'd be willing to use the full authority of the office to bring jobs here.
Good. All right. We'll move on to our next question is from Mike in Weathersfield, and he wants to know, what are both the challenges